right. Yes, we are live. I get a little excited because yesterday our live streaming didn't work. So, welcome to today's Q&A. My name is Jessie, here with Decker Truckline. Here to answer questions for you on what we have available, any updates, any new locations, pay, all that good stuff. So that's what we're talking about today. If you have any questions, now's the time to ask. Use the chat, put your questions in the chat, and as they come in, I'll answer them. So we'll start there. How's that? Again, my name is Jessie, and if you have any questions that you would like to ask a specific recruiter or a recruiter for that matter, more specifically on your situation, your driving record, your location, and all that good stuff, then I suggest you give them a call at 877-433-2537. 877-433-2537. And that way you'll be able to talk to them directly. Hey, Danny, how are you? Good to see you. Yes, indeed. All right. Well, we've had a busy start to the week already. I guess end of last week and beginning of this week, we had a blood drive on Friday, a successful blood drive on Friday, which is great. We had a few new donors. I'm not sure it is as comparable as it was about 7-8 months ago, where I guess it wasn't 7-8. It's right at 6 months ago. We hit records on that day, but we still are making some, still improving or increasing, I guess, the number of those who are donating through the blood drive. So fantastic news. Thank you again to all of those who helped with that or donated their blood. And that was Friday. And then yesterday, the Fort Dodge terminal had a few guests. We had the Fort Dodge Fire Department there, but for good reasons, not for scary. They were actually training on the Fort Dodge, at the pond there at our Fort Dodge terminal. So they were doing some safety fire training there, which was, I guess, pretty cool to see. Courtney sent over some pictures for us to share, so if you get a chance, go to our Facebook page and check those out. Very cool. But yeah, helping the community that we're living in, right? Keeping things moving in the right direction, supporting. Speaking of helping, I want to remind everybody that there has been a scam for over a year, and hopefully none of our professional drivers have got taken by this, but there's been a scam for a little over a year on tolls, usually in the Florida area. So if you've been through Florida, you might maybe you didn't even have a load there, but if you have, then you may have seen an uptick in text messages from a Florida number, or even gotten email addresses or an email from supposedly a government site, but it's a Gmail account. So yeah, it's not legit. It's bogus. Please don't click on the link. Don't pay them. Those toll scams, they have been out there. They're trying to get money off of you. It is not legit. Don't do it. We have our trucks are fully equipped with that. If you have a toll, we take care of it through the truck. They're not going to ask you through a text message for that. So, yeah, I'm sure you guys are tired of seeing that kind of stuff, that kind of spam, but it's just another reminder to be safe and diligent when you are, going through your emails or your text messages. Don't click on everything, right? Sometimes I got to learn that myself. Don't click on everything. It's not all legit. So please be aware of that. Take extra caution. If you have any questions, you can always ask me, when you actually go into a toll or actually have a toll, then go ahead and ask there instead of just clicking on the link and making assumptions. If you owe, we'll get it through the company. So, yeah. And even our owner-operators, our lease purchase drivers, when it comes to tolls, you're paying them through the company. So you're not paying them specifically through a text message or an email or whatever. It's not. All right, I'll get off of that. You get it, right? Don't do it. Don't pay them anything. It's a scam. We don't want you having to deal with any of that. But I tell you what. Yeah. Hey, Riley. How are you, man? Good to have both of you on here today. All right. A couple of other reminders. We are coming down the wire the end of February. We only have like 3 days left, 3.5 days left. How crazy is that already? I know I do this every year. Every year I'm like, how does the time fly so quickly? It does. It really does. But come the end of the month, the deadline for these Decker scholarships is up. So if you are wanting to apply for one of the Decker scholarships for the Iowa Central Community College, then you have until the 28th. So get those in. There's six, not different, but there's 6 scholarships, each $1,000 apiece. There's 2 scholarships for the Decker Truckline Incorporated scholarship. Those are again $1,000 a piece, and you have to either be an employee of Decker Truckline or a family member of an employee for Decker Truckline in order to qualify for that. And then, of course, going to Iowa Community College, because that's where all of these are at. We also have a Dale and Donna Decker scholarship. That's awarded to a student who is either enrolled in a CNT program, accounting program, truck driving, a semi-truck driving program, or even a diesel tech position. And again, 2 of those at $1,000 each for the Iowa Central Community College. And then the last set that we have, that one is specifically for the diesel tech position, and it's the diesel, I'm trying to remember the exact name, Decker Family Endowment Scholarship for Diesel Tech Program. There you go. That's it. That's legit. And so along with that specific one, you get $1,000 scholarship for Iowa Community College, Iowa Central Community College. Plus, with that specific one, that diesel tech program, you could be could be required, I guess is the word I wanted, could be required to do a paid internship at Decker Truckline. So it's like, I think, a 240-hour paid internship, which Ryan completed, saw some success, came on board afterwards, been full-time, and it's a great program for him. Just one example of how that program has worked. So yeah, if you guys are interested at all, please go check it out. The scholarships, you can find access to those on our Iowa Central, on the Iowa Central .edu webpage, or if you are part of the Decker community, Decker family already, you can access that through your email, because we sent information out on the newsletter yesterday and the week before, trying to make sure that we are getting all of those announcements out there. So, all right. Okay, fair enough. You only have a couple of days left. Really, you only have a couple of days left. That's craziness. It's a short month, tell you what. All right. Now, I do have some updates for you. We have a couple of new updates, actually. Last week, we talked about our team's opportunity, that we spoke mostly about that dedicated position because there is only one, and I know it's pretty sought after, but I also know it's in a very specific area along I-80 between Denver, Colorado, and Chicago, Illinois. So if you live along I-80 there between Denver and Chicago, then you could be eligible for that dedicated teams opportunity. It's a great position. You would need to bring a team member on. We're not going to set you up with a team member once you get here. That's one that you bring a team member with you. Now, also with that, we have a sign-on bonus if you each have at least 2 years of tractor trailer experience. So if you both have that, or one of you does and one of you doesn't, you each can earn the sign-on bonus. So I'm going to tell you the requirements for the sign-on bonus, and that way you can kind of see how that works. For the dedicated team opportunity, the sign-on bonus is a $4,000 sign-on bonus. Okay, $4,000. It's per driver. So you do need to have a minimum of 2 years of tractor trailer experience to qualify for that. Okay, so that one's per driver. It's broken into 4 installments, and again, if you have any questions about this at all, if you want some specific details, please reach out to our recruiting department, 877-433-2537 for details on that. And I'm trying to think. I was just trying to think if I had additional information on that for you. More of a breakdown. I'll get more of that for you in the meantime. Also, we have an over-the-road refrigerated team opportunity as well. The difference between the two, I mean, there's not a lot of difference, but then there's a lot of difference in the same sense. So the rate of pay per mile is going to be the same whether you're in the dedicated position or in the OTR position. It's based as a team. The base is 60 cents a mile. 10 cents a mile is per diem. Now that's what goes to the truck. So to have a better understanding of what you're going to be making on a weekly basis, know that if it's 60 cents a mile going to the truck, it's split 30-30. 25 taxed per mile and 5 cents per diem per mile per driver. So that again, that's 60 cents total. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to the recruiting department, 877-433-2537, or put it in the chat. I can answer those, most of those. So yeah, that's the rate of pay per mile. That's the base, okay? Base. That's what you're seeing every Friday, direct deposit. Now, the more miles you run as a team, the more you make per mile. And I'm going to go through the increments, but I want to tell you right out of the gate before I start saying the increments, because sometimes when you hear them, you're like, well, those aren't high miles. Know that the max pay, which is an extra 8 cents a mile on all the miles over 18,000 miles a month, that's what our teams are getting, because our teams are running around 24,000 per month. So yes, they are maxing out. So here's the levels. And remember, this is not weekly pay. This is what you would make on top of the weekly pay in one lump sum. It pays out around the third pay period of the month following when you ran it. So last week is when you would have seen Friday, or excuse me, let me start over. Last week is when you would have seen last month's, January's payout, okay, for the mileage pay, or the bonus pay. Mileage bonus pay. There you go. All right, so again, weekly pay, direct deposit, that's 60 cents a mile to the truck, split per driver, and that's paid out every Friday. Then the mileage bonus pay pays around the third pay period of the month following when you ran it. It's 12 to 14,000 miles a month, gets you an extra 2 cents a mile. Again, those are split. And then an extra 4 cents a mile for 14 to 16,000 miles a month. 16,000 to 18,000 miles a month, if that was the total you ran, it'd be an extra 6 cents a mile. And anything over 18,000 miles a month, which that alone is below our average, anything over 18,000 miles a month is an extra 8 cents a mile. Cool? All right. I think, again, right around 24,000 is what we see on average for those teams. So, yes, they're working hard. And really the difference between our team opportunity, I mean, besides this dedicated one of the differences, I should say, is it's touch freight. You are rolling the carts on and off. These are bread loads. They are heavy. They're between 350 and 400, I think, for the bread, the stacks. And so when you're rolling the carts off, some of our teams like to do them 2 at a time, where they have 2 drivers rolling them down and 2 drivers rolling it up. You know, you'll be bringing empty on if you're delivering a full, and vice versa on the other end. But when it comes to other teams, some of our other teams, they prefer to just have one person rolling them on and off each time. It's up to you. Whatever's the safest route for you, and that you're most comfortable with. But that is touch freight as compared to any of our other division, like our other refrigerated and dry van division. It's no touch freight. Now this one is, you do get an extra $50, I believe, per driver for the loading or the rolling and on and off, the lumbering of it. So there's that. Again, with the solo positions, it's no touch freight. Difference between the two. Now our over the road team opportunity, different than our dedicated. That one, you might have some touch freight. The rest is going to be non-touch or no touch freight because you'll be running more of the over-the-road division. So you're looking with the dedicated position, you're looking at a home weekly opportunity where the over-the-road position is usually home about every 3 to 4 weeks. So you're out 3 to 4 weeks at a time and then home for, 4 or 5 days or so. So again, if you have questions whatsoever, specifically like on your like where you live and what we have out of those hiring areas, then I suggest you give us a call at 877-433-2537, and then you can talk to a recruiter directly about those positions. But yeah, we do have those opportunities. The dedicated position is the only dedicated team opportunity we currently have. And yes, I know we're very specific on that location between Denver and Chicago along I-80, but that's why we can get you home on a weekly basis. That's why we can get you the miles, because of the way that, you're right there in the middle of that. Middle of it all, right there. All right. And again, there's a $4,000 sign-on bonus for that one. We also have the $4,000 sign-on bonus for the over-the-road refrigerated team opportunity as well. Again, it's available as long as you have a minimum of 2 years of over-the-road tractor trailer experience. That's one of the requirements for that sign-on bonus. Okay. So that's teams. That's teams as teams. Now we also have sign-on bonus opportunities in our other divisions. I know we didn't talk about this last week because we didn't have it last week. It's brand new. Brand new. So the sign-on bonus is for our Midwest flatbed. Then we also have a sign-on bonus for our refrigerated division, our over-the-road refrigerated division, and our 11 days out, 3 days. It's still over the road, but it's a little bit more, what do I want to say? Little home a little bit more often. That's what I'm trying to say. That word. All right. So again, the amount of the sign-on bonus depends on the division that you're looking at. For instance, if you live in the central Midwest, sometimes I call it the upper Midwest, but if you live in like the central Midwest, then yes, we have a higher sign-on bonus than if you live in some of the other hiring areas for the refrigerated division. And same with our Midwest flatbed division too. We have that. Let's see. I'm just going to see if I could show you. There we go. Okay, so here is, if you can see in the very bottom, I don't know if you can. You can see in the very bottom here, that's the payout for the sign-on bonus. So for the $5,000 sign-on bonus for our more central Midwest refrigerated, that one pays out $1,500 at 6 months, another $1,500 at the 9 months, and then at your 1 year, you get the remaining $2,000. So $1,500, $1,500, and then $2,000 on your 1 year anniversary. So a couple of the requirements: you've got to have at least 2 years of verifiable experience. These are the same exact requirements for the sign-on bonus for the team. This one is for the refrigerated, although I'm showing flatbed right here. But yeah, so, and then no more than 3 jobs in the last 18 months. That's another requirement for that sign-on bonus. So it's not available to everybody. Yes, we can work with those who have less than a year of experience or have 6 months to a year of experience or even a year and a half. You just wouldn't qualify for that sign-on bonus. Your rate of pay per mile would be reflective of your years of experience if you're in a solo position. But again, for the team opportunity, it's 60 cents base to the truck, and then the additional cents per mile is paid around the 3rd pay period of the month following when you ran it. Which, to give you kind of an idea on what that bonus has been looking like for our team drivers, that's roughly a little over $1,000 a week per driver that for the bonus. No, I'm sorry. A little more than $1,000 per month, not per week. Per month, it's a little over $1,000 per month bonus per driver. There we go. That's what I meant to say. Sorry about that. But that kind of gives you an idea. And yeah, our over-the-road teams as well as our dedicated teams are getting that. But again, the dedicated is a very specific location, and you definitely will be working hard because it's a lot of. I mean, it's 5 days on, so you're home on a weekly basis, but it's all because of where you live on that one. The route and where we can promise that home time. So again, 877-433-2537 for more details on that. Now, as far as the flatbed, Midwest flatbed, that one also has a $5,000 sign-on bonus, so it pays out $1,500 at 6 months, $1,500 bonus at 9 months, and then the remaining $2,000 will be paid out on your 1-year anniversary. And that's again, that's additional bonus compared to any of the monthly bonuses that we have. It's in addition to any of our bonuses that we have or any of your weekly pay. So that's the $5,000 sign-on bonus for the Midwest flatbed. Now our over-the-road refrigerated, just like our team opportunities, is an extra $4,000 for the sign-on. And again, must have at least 2 years of experience, no more than 3 jobs in the last 18 months, and yeah, those are it. And of course, you got to meet all of our qualifications. We cannot work with a DOT recordable accident if it's within the last 3 years. We can't work with a major moving violation within the last 3 years. So you do need to have a clean driving record. And I know a lot of you professional drivers out there, that is what you pride yourself in, and that's what we like to see. Now, as far as those of you who are already aboard with Decker, if you're looking for referral bonus, we do have a referral bonus, of course, and that currently is a $2,000 referral bonus. That one, it pays out in four lump sums, and that referral bonus, if you refer somebody within the first quarter, right now, then your name goes into the drawing for April 1st, because April 1st is when we'll do our first quarterly drawing for the referral bonus. Now, that's in addition to the $2,000 that you would make for that referral. That's a $1,000 bonus, and just anybody who referred somebody that hired on, or who hired on, we pull a name out of the cooler. It's my cooler. And then the winner gets $1,000 for an additional $1,000 on that referral. All right. And then I'm trying to think what else. Literally, I know I'm listing off bonuses, listing off extras here. It's a good thing. And then, of course, for the sign-on bonus, if you're in-house, for professional drivers, yes, it's a $2,000 sign-on bonus. For office, it is a $500 referral bonus. There we go. But the sign-on bonus is $4,000 for OTR and $5,000 for the Central Midwest. But for more specific areas, just call the recruiting department. They'll be able to tell you, yeah, you're in the 5,000 area, or no, you're in the 4,000 area. If you're in Chicago, 5,000 area. If you're in Des Moines, I believe that's 5,000 as well. Milwaukee is a 5,000 area. Areas like Atlanta, Georgia, or Texas, or out west, those are the 4,000 payouts. So it just kind of gives you an idea. It's a little reflection of home time as well as freight, because they kind of work off of each other. They're hand in hand, basically. Okay. So yes, those sign-on bonuses, those referral bonuses, usually pay out around the third pay period of the month following when you earned it. As far as the referral bonus, it's after 60, 90, and 6 months. There we go. All right. Now back to some of the qualifying factors. Yes, you do, no major moving violations in the last 3 years. So you've got to have a clean driving record. No DOT recordable accidents, nothing like that in the last 3 years. DUIs, DWIs, nothing. You can't have any of those. Clean driving record, good work history is what we're looking for. The reason being is we do definitely invest a lot into you. We put a lot of time in as well in making sure that we have we're training, and if you're new to driving, we do offer some refrigerated training opportunities. But if you have experience and you're looking to come aboard, then yes, we would be going through and getting you ready through some of our online orientations, and then you have your physical orientation in Fort Dodge, Iowa, and you've got the training department there. You're not necessarily going out with a trainer. If you've got 2 years of experience, you're not going out with a trainer. But if you've got, when you're in orientation, you'll be going through training on, like the tablet, the ELD. You'll be going through training just company policies and procedures, and making sure that, we're going through the right processes so that you understand it once you are out on your road, especially if you're going out on a solo. And then also at the end of orientation, you do get a walkthrough with the maintenance department. You guys will go through kind of like a checklist of all of the equipment that we have, that all the amenities in the trucks, and they do have a lot of amenities: APUs, inverters, refrigerators, microwaves, CB units. They have a 22-inch television in them. It's a smart TV, plus company paid Epic View streaming. So that's 100 plus channels, HBO, Cinemax, Showtime. We have Wi-Fi streaming available as well, and that's also through the Epic View. You also have access, I was looking for my tablet here, you also have access to the Wi-Fi data through the tablet if the streaming isn't working, because some areas are affected different than others. So if the streaming isn't working, it's great. You've got the Wi-Fi tablet, and vice versa. But honestly, the Epic View works way better. it's way more reliable, and that's why we switched over to it. And that's the Pro version. Double bunk trucks. They have the lytic system in it. That's one of our safety features. So it does include both inward and outward facing event recorders, lane departure, speed gauge, all that good stuff. What am I missing? Oh, you know what I was going to say is with the refrigerators, the new Peterbilts that we got, the 589s, the 2025s, those are 3.2 cubic feet, I believe, refrigerators, versus in the other Peterbilts, some of the older Peterbilts we have, when I say older, I'm like 21, 22, 23, I think. Those are 1.9. Now the Volvos and the Freightliners, they also have the larger refrigerator. So from here on out, you'll be getting those bigger refrigerators, which is obviously very nice when you're out on the road, 11 days at a time, or even 5 days at a time, or whatever it might be. So very nice to have. But again, 877-43, and if you want to speak to one of the recruiters, or you can also apply online at drivedecker.com, and we'll be able to answer your questions that way. So there you have it. That's the majority of the orientation. Once you've completed orientation, you get a $500, or you get paid $500 for completing it. Then you'll have your weekly pay, your rate of pay per mile and the miles that you run. Yes, we have a safety net, kind of a minimum pay, but at the same time, as long as you're running the miles, you'll be getting the rate of pay per mile. A little bit better. Gotta love that. The better of the two, right? I'm trying to think orientation-wise if I'm missing anything for qualifying and stuff like that. But before you come to orientation, before we even get you into Fort Dodge, you'll still have to complete your online orientation, which is modules followed by questions. I can't remember how many modules altogether, but some of them are videos, some of them are interactive images, some of them are articles, and each one of them has a question or three after it, following it, that you answer to just to make sure that you're getting the information that was presented. And then once you've completed the online orientation, then you also need to do your physical and your drug test. Now, we set those up, by the way. You're not having to track down a location. Like, we'll tell you, here, we've scheduled it at this location, work with you on what's the closest. And so we'll get you a new physical for you. Unless you have one that's good for another 6+ months, if you have a physical that was good for a year, it's good for another year, or good for another 6 months, then we could probably use that one. We'll just have to have the long form sent over to us. And then the drug tests are both the hair follicle and the urinalysis. So we do both of those prior to coming to orientation. That way we are, we've got everything pre-approved, and we've worked your application. We've got you all approved that way, so you're not coming to Fort Dodge and then after the fact you're like, oh, I didn't pass my physical, or